What's up? Hey, how's it going? My name's Jeremy, and today we have a very special episode of Life of the Germ. Let me get my infamous slippers on. These have seen better days. Shout out my mom back in college. She didn't want me to buy these, but probably the best $120 I've ever spent in my entire life. LL Bean slippers, shout out Scott Weber, like the most comfortable slippers of all time. So yeah, I have had a pretty solid past few days. Let's see, what did I do? Um, helped. I helped one of my friends move this weekend. So shout out Ethan for the one time. Got him all moved into the new crib, so that was pretty cool. He's actually living in a real house now. Welcome to the club. So that was pretty sick. And then I slept over there and then ran 17 miles with him the next morning, which is pretty sick. And slowly dabbling into football again. So we watched the 11 o'clock NFL games on Sunday, which was pretty fun, and that was all good. The night before, got dinner with the girl I'm seeing. Shout out. I haven't asked her if she actually wants her name shouted out yet, so I'll let her know in the future and see what she says. But that was good too. She made me dinner. And yeah, we hung out, had a good time. And yeah, just gearing up. I actually just went to the Rockies game tonight. Shout out to Colorado Rockies. They're like 40 and 110. They're like really bad. But I was like, ooh, it looks like there's a little rain in the forecast. And it was looking good at the start. And then third, fourth inning came around and then just started coming down. And I guess I'm going to expose myself here. But me and my friends, we were in the nosebleeds. And it said, that's not the part that's exposed. Of course, you pay for the nosebleeds. They're the worst team in the MLB. But it was lightning. I don't know if that's how you say it. But they said because of that, we had to get out of the nosebleeds and take cover, but we just stayed up there. And then, oh yeah, the cover for this episode on Spotify, what you'll see if you follow me on Instagram on the story is a video or a shot that I captured of the lightning, which is super sick. Because it was just it was right in front of our faces. It was a little risky, but pretty cool shot with the stadium in the background, and then there's just no one in the seats. But they were down 3-0 when we left. I don't know. It was raining for 45 minutes, and then we got bored and just decided to go. But yeah, all around pretty solid day. I always love doing stuff during the week because it helps break up the week so well. And before you know it, you blink and you're like, oh, it's Friday. Let's go, But yeah, other than that, another thing I wanted to talk about before I get into wisdom of the week was I've been doing this new habit. Shout out my friend Ari. And I've been really liking it, and it's pretty simple, but I feel like everyone can relate to the fact that as soon as you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you do? Because we're all addicted to our phones. Likely, you probably check your phone, right? And it's been a conscious effort. She recommended I take the phone out of the room, so I charge my phone in a different room. But I put it across the bed for me, so I'd have to literally get out of the bed to get it. And in the morning, I'll just I consciously wake up and I'm don't look at it. I have an alarm clock that glows, so I don't. You might be able to see it. It's up there, but I don't use my phone. And then I'll go for my morning run, shower, and then this time I didn't make it through breakfast because I usually watch a video on my phone for breakfast. But even that 2 hours of no phone to start the day it just feels like great. Like you get in this mind state how I almost was when I was a kid. Like it's crazy how much I've gone immediately since I was a child, of like immediately waking up and going on my phone, that like now that I'm going without it, my brain is like flashing back to like what I used to do as like I don't know, like really young, like elementary schooler, when I'd wake up and like wouldn't have anything, maybe I had my iPod, but they weren't as like addicting back then as they are now. I didn't have social media or anything like, and it just felt really nice. So highly recommend that. If you want to try it out, let me know what you think. Another shout out, still the Drake, but album of the week for this week, or artist of the week I should say, is Beach Fossils. Dude, oh my god, their music is so good. It I sent this song to someone and they commented that it sounds like, and I thought it was such a good like response. Basically, they said it sounded like the genre is like sort of, it's, how melancholy is like pretty sad and like, but it's like a good sad, you like feel it. They said it was like a hopeful melancholy, which is just like, it's just like nail on the head. Like it just fits perfectly. And like, it's hard to, you'd have to just listen to it, but listen to not any beat. Well, all their songs kind of have a similar tone to them. So like, check it out. Let me know if you agree. But it's like, they frame, the feeling you get when it's like, yeah, today wasn't good, but I know tomorrow will be better. Like that mood that you think of when I say that, that's like their whole like discography is like, yeah, today sucked, but I know tomorrow's going to be a better day. And it's just like cool, it's cool it's weird to feel both happy and sad at the same time, but they did just strike a chord so well that I really rock with. So obviously like more chill music, but it's kind of what I've been looking for lately. So wisdom of the week. I've been loving this. I'm sure there's like some sort of like English term for what I'm doing, but I have another wisdom of the week that I'm like queuing up called building buildings. And I just love like when that word, you're able to like use the word twice. So this week, obviously it's resisting resistance. And this is a term that I actually came up with this one just last night, this wisdom of the week. And, just been having like really long weeks, really long miles. As you guys know, I'm training for this marathon, and like most, like half of the days throughout the week, I like have to run by myself. And it's just like every day I wake up and I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like it's such a bummer, man. But, I did my long run with Ethan on Sunday, which was such a blessing. Like, one, we just hit it off, so we were able to like talk, and then so you already have a good conversation going, and then two, like I don't know, I'm more so focused on the conversation, so my mind just kind of runs and I don't think about the run much. Get it? Runs. But and it just went by so fast. Like 2 hours of running was done in like 10 minutes. It felt like it was so nice. But yeah, what I was getting at was, yeah, this resistance that it just feels like. And as you guys know, I talk about my job a decent amount on here, but a lot of honestly, like part of this life of the germ is me just like coping with different things in my life, right? And then like telling you guys about them, and then like figuring out ways and like telling you guys ways and strategies that I've managed to use to like get through those things, right? And I was like, maybe I don't talk about my job again on here, but I'm like, screw it, man. This is like me, right? This is like what I want to do. If you want to tune in, tune in. If you don't, you don't have to, So I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to do it. But it gets at this idea that, there's going to be more days than others, or that's not what I meant to say, but there's going to be some days which you wake up, and I've described this on the pod before, but you feel a lot of resistance for the day. You just feel unmotivated. We all have days like that. You wake up, you really don't even want to get out of bed, let alone go for a run, let alone drive to work and go through work all day, and it's just like, I just don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. We all have days like that. And it's so funny because when those days happen to me, I'm just like, well, I guess I'll just go with the flow. Like today is just going to suck because I don't have motivation, and like, I just let it take me. And I don't even know how it started, but I was watching Suits, was it 2 nights ago now, I think? And I don't even know why. It was like the season 5 finale, which, oh my gosh. Anyone that's watched Suits knows that's like a fire episode. And it's just like very emotional. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like teared up a little bit. I'm like very emotionally connected to those characters, that's for sure. Like they did such a good job of like setting that up. And dude, Mike and Harvey's dynamic is just, it's just so like fire. Like I just love that. Their little like comebacks to each other, it's like the most like cutest thing ever. But like what I'm getting at is that when these days come, right, and you have to get up and like you feel lack of motivation and you're like, I guess this day is gonna suck. Like, it's such a bad mindset because it's like, I think the way I thought of it was like, okay, it's out of my control, so I guess I'm just screwed. But it is partially in your control. And I think it's partially in the like preparation for it, right? That like, I always do this and I feel like it somewhat works. Like whenever I know I'm not going to get sleep, like good sleep the night before, say I know going in, I'm going to bed at like midnight, I have to wake up at 6, right? I know that's not going to be a good night's sleep. But like preparing your mind for the next day, not like catastrophizing the situation, but just being like kind of making a joke of it and like prepping yourself and be like, okay, now since you know that you didn't get a lot of sleep, like tomorrow is going to be a little bit more difficult, right? You wake up and you're like, okay, I expected this, right? So you're able to like manage it a little bit better. Instead of me waking up off of 8 hours, oh my God, why do I have no motivation? I like question it and blah, blah, blah. What I'm saying is that like, I love this saying too. Like I even said it today. We were getting hot dogs today at the stadium, and it was buy one get one free on hot dogs, but then we also got like tickets that come with a $6 voucher. But I'm like, there's probably no way in hell they let us use the voucher on the buy one get one free hot dogs, because it's like you're literally paying basically you're getting 2 hot dogs for free at that point. And so I love the phrase like hope for the best but expect the worst. And I think that's what this is getting at a little bit. Like you're sort of like prepping your mindset for like the worst possible outcome, and then when it actually hits, like you're not like totally surprised, but it's unexpected, right? And I feel like that is like the realist in a nutshell, right? Is that like the hoping of you is the optimist, right? Where you're like, I'm hoping, but I'm expecting like maybe the undesirable outcome because it's a possibility, right? You're kind of like positioning yourself right in the middle of like pessimism and optimism. And I think like resisting resistance gets at this idea of, okay, like some days you're going to have more resistance than others. So like knowing that, go into these situations thinking that, right? That like, yeah, of course we'd all like to wake up every day and every day you love to like go to work and do your job. But we all know that that's just not the reality. I seriously have considered like, what else would I rather be doing right now? And I don't think of anything. Like this is exactly where I want to be in my life right now. And like, even then I wake up and I have days where I'm like, I don't want to do this. And that I think like I used to be so guilty for that, but that is like completely okay. And knowing that you're going to go into some of these days having a little more resistance, why not like prepare your mindset for that? And I honestly think where this really came to fruition is I have some really hard things that I have to do before Christmas this year. Like I'm trying to submit a paper, and then I'm trying to write a grant for like my research. And both of those at the same time, I just know is going to be a lot of time like spent on the weekends in the library, and I don't know. I think maybe subconsciously part of me thought that was done with, which I knew like this is the career I'm in for, right? Like you're not going to like you're going to have to spend some time like in the library doing stuff, sometimes during times and days that you don't want to be, right? Like of course a Saturday in Colorado when it's sunny out, like the library is like one of the last places I'd want to be, right? And that's okay, but like preparing yourself for that, right? And the resistance is, oh no, I'm gonna have so much work to do this next semester. So now I'm just like the past couple weeks I've just been like this kind of like frozen dude in time where I'm like, oh my god, I don't know what to do, and I just like let the days go by, and I'm like, I guess I won't do anything and just let the deadline keep approaching. Whereas now, like knowing that the resistance is there, just like being comfortable with it, and understanding that, hey, this is going to be here and we're going to like resist the resistance, right? We're going to be like, okay, it's there. We know it's going to suck, but guess what? You're going to go and give it your best shot, right? And you're going to go in there, you're going to put your foot down and you're going to get it done, right? Because every time previously in your life, the same thing has happened. You felt bad. And maybe there's been days where you're like, oh, this is going to suck because it's a hard day, And maybe you responded to it differently. But my whole take of this is, okay, let's respond to it in a positive way now. Let's respond to it of, okay, it's going to be one of those days. Let's take it. Let's take it to the man. Remember that episode? That was like the first episode I posted in the new year. And I had a lot of big stuff coming up. And like I had to lock in and be like, okay, time to stop being a baby. Let's lock in. Let's get this stuff done. We know it's going to suck, but we're going to do it. And it's going to be a growing moment, and that's like the mindset I think like I have to get back into again, because I've sort of like slacked off, because I've had a couple months of like fun and chill. And like, I think that's good, like it comes in waves, right? Like if you're growing all the time, like you're never going to be comfortable, right? I think there's definitely a period of time where like you need to give yourself that comfort. Like after a long day, like take a break, relax. You'll get back to it tomorrow, right? Like at some point you need to turn it off, right? But now it's time to lock in, right? And I think there's just some times where you got to resist the resistance and just take it to the man. And like I said, like you hope every day that you wake up feeling high energy and good to go, but you expect that not every day is going to be like that. And maybe you have a tough week and maybe majority of the days are going to be like that. It just comes in waves. So that's life of the dream for you guys. Hope you enjoyed resisting resistance. I hope you like the little wordplay. I'm kind of crafty with it. Cooking up in the crack, but hope you enjoyed and managed to squeak this one in before I head to bed. So I'm gonna go ahead, edit this puppy, upload it for you guys, and do just that. So thank you for listening to Life of the Germ, and we'll catch you next week.